name is Jesse, and I'm giving the farewell speech to Joe Kenda as he starts the next stage of his career. Joe Kenda began his police career in 1973 in Colorado Springs. He was leaving a bad situation so he could better provide for his family. So, Joe Kenda at first had no idea as to what career he should take. But he did know that he liked crime solving, so he decided that one of the best options was to take his family to Colorado Springs so that then they could live a better life, and he could also have a fulfilling career there. Kenda's first case, however, was not a cakewalk. This case was in fact a setup for failure. In 1977, a convenience store was robbed, and 2 people were gunned down. There were no witnesses, no cameras, and there was no motives. There was no connection between the 2 victims as to who had done this. So Joe Kenda had taken the case because none of his other colleagues had wanted to. So Joe Kenda cased the evidence, and he found within it a bracelet. This bracelet was engraved with the name Ingrid on it. And at this time in the 70s, most couples would have a bracelet engraved with the significant other's name on it. So Joe Kenda had hoped this was not a victim's bracelet and instead was the perpetrator's. He was correct in this assumption. One of his victims had said, "Yes, I did rip that off of his wrist, in fact, as this man gunned me down." So Joe Kenda then was able to find the special machine that was used to engrave this said bracelet, and by doing so, pinpointed as to who it was sold to and who the owner of the actual bracelet was. By doing so, Joe Kenda had solved this case that was deemed unsolvable by his superiors. Joe Kenda from there left a tireless career. He had 387 cases assigned to his unit with a 92% solution rate, which is one of the highest in the nations. Due to his success, after he had retired, Investigation Discovery had read that this Joe Kenda had such a high solution rate and wanted to know as to what the secrets were of the trade. Investigation Discovery offered him a show, and he said yes. That show is called Homicide Hunter, and it's gone on for 8 seasons. Joe Kenda did decide to actually stop filming the show, as he felt that he had said what he needed to. He uses this show as a therapeutic way to air out his stories one last time so that he can better deal with the post-traumatic stress that he has to deal with. Joe Kenda still, in fact, helps people with police officers with solving cold cases. And one of his most favorite to have done was the John Benet Ramsey. Unfortunately, he cannot go into many more details than that at this point, but he likes to still do that and still, in fact, solves cases to this day. Joe Kenda does have multiple degrees and licenses in order to teach police officers as to how to solve certain cases that have reached cold case status. Joe Kenda now is also lined up for a new show with Investigation Discovery, which is called American Detective with Lieutenant Joe Kenda. Joe Kenda is using these as best ways so that he can get not only his story out, but now multiple other detective stories out, while not shying away from the fact that post-traumatic stress does exist within this profession. Joe Kenda also has 2 books out that I personally have read, and I deeply adore them very much. So that's actually where I got most of my information for this speech. Thank you, and I hope Joe Kenda has the best career ever.